Okay, I am going to do a really quick tutorial today on how to spin seams. And because the spinning process or setting up to spin a seam really starts early in your sewing process, I'm going to demonstrate this by making a pinwheel. So I have made 4 half square triangles, and the first thing I'm going to do is press them all towards the dark. So I have a light and a dark side, and whenever I am pressing to a side, I always want to put that side up. So I'm going to flip all of these so the dark side is up. And then I'm going to take my iron and I'm going to set the seam on one of these half square triangles, which is going to then allow this to fold back pretty easily and go in the direction I want it to go, which is towards the dark. So you can see that is folded and pressed towards the dark. And I'm going to repeat that on all 4 of these because that's very important when you're spinning a seam that they're all rotating in the same direction, and you'll understand what I mean here in a little bit by rotate. Okay, we just got one more to go. I'm just going to press them towards the back just to get them good and flat. Stick them to my iron. Okay, so I now have my 4 half square triangles. So I'm going to lay these out in a pinwheel design. So here's my, my pinwheel pattern. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew these 2 together and these 2 together. Then I'm going to come back and show you how to press to keep the seams rotating in the same direction to set us up so that we can spin our seams. Okay, I have now sewn these together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I'm going to open these up just to make sure I still have a pinwheel when I sew them together. And what I'm going to do is just flip them over and look at my back. And when I look at my back, I have 2 seams going this way and 2 seams going this way. So I want to make sure that I press the seams in the direction that they're already going. So since these are all going to the left, I'm going to press this seam to the left. So it's going to go this way. So I'm going to put that side up, set my seam, and then I'm going to fold this back. I'm just going to get it set really good on the back. And now you can see all of my seams are folded going to the left. And this one's going to the right. If I put it this way, they would all be going to the left. It really doesn't matter. What does matter is that these are all going in the same direction. And so now these are all also going to the left. So now that I've got all my seams going in the same direction, I'm just going to flip these over and get them ready to sew into a pinwheel. And that's my pinwheel. And if we've sewn and pressed everything in the same direction, when I fold this together, my seams should nest or bump right up against each other. And we're ready then to sew this together with a 1/4 inch right down the center. Okay, so I've now sewn this together and my seams are going in the same direction here and the same direction here. Sometimes, depending on the type of block you make, you can just take this and twist it and your threads will just break right open just like you see they did here, which is a good thing. Sometimes they don't and you need to use a seam ripper to pull those threads out. But when they just pop open like they did just now, it's a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and just finger press this. So one of your seams is going to go to the left and one's going to go to the right. And then I just need to bring my iron over here and press this out. And you're going to see we get like a miniature teeny tiny pinwheel on the back. Whoops, it's always good to keep your seams flat. And hopefully you can see that little baby pinwheel. There's a couple threads in there that if I had a seam ripper handy, I'd pull those out. And so that's how you spin your seam. Now sometimes it will not just snap open, so I'm going to show you what you do if it won't snap. So if it doesn't snap, what you want to do is take a seam ripper, which I can't not find mine at the moment, and you're going to find your horizontal seam right here. And then you're going to have on like a pinwheel a diagonal seam going this way and a diagonal seam going this way. All you want to do is take the threads going right past your horizontal seam and the diagonal ones going right past your horizontal seam and pick those out. And you're going to do that on both sides, here and here. And once you pick those out, that's going to open right up for you if it won't do it automatically. So earlier I talked about rotation, and now that we have the block all together, you can actually visually see the rotation I was talking about. Because we were careful from beginning to end, ensuring that all of our seams were pressed in the same direction, we now have this circular movement with our seams. These kind of are going to the left, and then we make a turn, they start going to the right, we make a turn again, and they're back at the left. It's really important to keep that rotation to get your seam to spin. If you were to press one of these in a different direction, the likelihood of your seam spinning starts to go down dramatically. So that rotation is exactly what we're looking for. So just pay attention and make sure that you are pressing all of your seams in the same direction, and you're going to be able to spin your seams every time.